Good morning, everybody. This is Steve from the Worley Bugger. A few little lovely girls there. It's January 26th, 2024. We made it through the worst month of the year. It's almost over. About 10 days after our big cold snap. Had below zero temperatures here in the valley. And you can see here the river is back running. These places where the river has volume and it kind of trucks along, the ice is all broken up, but you're still gonna find, like, in really slow, long pieces of water on the river, like the lower canyon, portions of the farmlands too, you know, in the upper river are still gonna be blocked with ice shelves, you know, completely across the river. So still, you know, a little sketchy to be putting a boat on the water and floating, but it's supposed to warm up this week. We might even see temperatures in the 50s or near 50s, so kind of crazy. There's been a few people out trying to fish the last few days, and again, you know, you got to be really careful even when you're wade fishing too, you know, the shelf ice, walking on it. You can see right here, right down in front of me. Just so it doesn't bust loose, you know, and you go in for a swim. So, I mean, if you are going to be out on the river, it's good to have a spiked boot, use a staff, and just be careful walking, you know, watch where you're going. It is fishable, and as we begin our next week. Hi, ladies. Oh, there's a little spike there, little tiny one. More of that ice will break up as the temperatures warm up and the water temperature warms up, so they'll become, you know, more river will become available, you know, for fishing. And the whitefish season's still going on too, so there's been a few people out taking part in that. But as we progress here and we get into February, you know, we'll start more aquatic hatches will begin. So there'll be big, you know, stonefly migrations happening. Squallow stonefly nymphs will be, you know, moving along the bottom of the river, moving towards the edges, you know, so that'll become a really important food farm to fish, get your tying done. But right now, you know, a lot of people have been in the store, in the pro shop, asking, you know, what are the good flies to fish this time of year. And really it's a great time of the year to fish, and I'm sure I've touched on this before. You know, you can really use a wide variety of different flies, you know, to fish with, because the insect hatches are very minimal. I mean, you have midges and winter stones would be about the only two insects that you would see on any given day during this time of year. So, and not many times have I ever seen fish get up on the little winter stones. I'm sure they eat them subaquatically, but it's very rarely. I mean, even when there's a lot of them around, I haven't seen fish feeding on the surface of them. But midges is a whole different story. Of course, you know, midge clusters and midge emergers, you know, in places where they're hatching. But again, that's, you know, for the next few days, it's probably going to be minimal because they tend to be in that slower water, and a lot of that slower water is still covered in ice. So in places where it's broken up, you might find some, so just be prepared for that. But again, like, it's more, really, it's about, you know, fishing the right water, getting the right depth, you know, and most importantly, getting a great presentation over them, so they're less picky. They're gonna, you know, they're gonna eat it if you get it in front of them. And with lower, you know, with lower water temperatures too, they don't tend to move great distances to hit a fly, especially in our river. When there's abundance of food items, you know, along the bottom, there's, you know, the entire bottom substrate of the river is covered in caddis. You know, there's bait fish around, there's, you know, sculpins and worms, aquatic worms. There's all kinds of food to eat. It's not like they're going hungry. So, but more importantly, just, you know, pick a good piece of water and work it through thoroughly, you know, until you can find them. Egg patterns too are good. They're, you know, we're getting late in the season for whitefish spawn, but with that cold snap that we had last week, that could have kicked more whitefish into the spawn, and you know, fish definitely will be on eggs. And you know, we had, in late December, we still had coho in the river, you know, so flesh flies, some of those carcasses are still breaking down in the river, creating worms and leeches, pieces of flesh, you know, just massive, major protein, you know, for our trout to grow on. So there you go. We are starting to book up for the squala season. So if you got some dates in mind, want to fish, give us a jingle and we'll get you on the calendar. That's about all I got to report. So everybody have a great weekend, and get some fishing planned, get outdoors, and enjoy your time off.